The topic is hepatic function test. So the test which determines hepatic function, that is liver function. So to determine the liver function, first we have to understand what are the secretions of liver. We already know the major secretion of liver is bilirubin. So that bilirubin level has to be tested in both blood and also in urine. So first one, serum bilirubin. So we have to know the amount of bilirubin, and so bilirubin exists in two forms, the conjugated form and unconjugated form. So that's why, so we have to test the levels, and we have to test the conjugated levels and unconjugated levels, so that we'll understand how the liver is functioning. So whether it is functioning properly or any elevated levels of bilirubin either in serum or urine can determine any damage to liver, etc. So first, serum bilirubin levels. So the total serum bilirubin. So the total amount of bilirubin present in serum will be around 0.2 to 0.8 mg per deciliter of blood. So whereas conjugated bilirubin will be less than 0. mg per deciliter, and unconjugated bilirubin levels will be 0.2 to 0.6 mg per deciliter. So these are the levels of serum bilirubin in blood. The serum bilirubin, nothing but bilirubin in blood, both conjugated and unconjugated. And the metabolism we have already seen how it gets synthesized and degraded. So immature or old RBC results in the release of as it gets lysed, it releases hemoglobin, and hemoglobin in turn it gets dissociated into globin and heme and results in the production of biliverdin and bilirubin. Biliverdin, heme is converted to biliverdin in the presence of heme oxygenase enzyme as it gets oxidized, and this biliverdin gets reduced. So reduction process occurs where it gets reduced to bilirubin. So this bilirubin now gets conjugated with the glucuronide, UDP glucuronide, in the presence of glucuronyl transferase. So this bilirubin diglucuronide is formed, which is a conjugated form of bilirubin. So after this conjugated bilirubin gets synthesized, bacterial enzymes have a special type of enzymes called beta glucuronidases. So this glucuronidase removes or lyses the glucuronide from the conjugated bilirubin. So it gets converted to unconjugated bilirubin, which in turn converts to urobilinogen and also stercobilinogens. So this is how the bilirubin gets secreted into the serum and urine. Secreted. Next, how to test the amount of bilirubin present in the serum. The first test we're gonna be Vandenberg reaction. So when a normal amount of bilirubin will be present in the serum, so this reaction will be negative. Vandenberg reaction will be negative. Whereas if an abnormal quantity of bilirubin present in serum, so then this reaction is going to be positive. So here the main principle involved is the Vandenberg reagent. So we'll be saying this Vandenberg reaction includes a reagent called Vandenberg reagent. It is a mixture of equal volumes of sulfanic acid in dilute HCl and sodium nitrate. So in the sense it has to be, so this reagent contains equal volume of two components here, so sulfonylic acid and sodium nitrate. So sulfonylic acid, which was dissolved in HCl, whereas sodium nitrate is taken. So this sulfonylic acid and sodium nitrate both were taken in equal volumes. When these two gets reacted, so it forms a diazotized sulfonylic acid. Diazotization occurs. So the diazotized sulfonylic acid now reacts with the bilirubin to form a purple color azobilirubin. First diazotization occurs, and later azobilirubin will be formed because this sulfonilic acid reacted with sodium nitrate and results in the formation of a diazo compound. After this diazo compounds, again when it gets reacted with the bilirubin, it results in the formation of a purple colored compound called azobilirubin. Now, so we can understand by the formation of this purple color. So if a purple color is immediately an addition of a reagent, which is nothing but Vandenberg reagent, if added immediately, if it gives a color compound, which is nothing but color formation is observed, purple color, so it indicates conjugated bilirubin. Okay, so if the serum contains conjugated bilirubin, immediately after you add Vandenberg reagent to the blood sample, immediately, so purple color is going to form, which is a direct positive test for Vandenberg reaction. If the serum contains unconjugated bilirubin, more amounts of unconjugated bilirubin, then the color formation will not be as immediate. So immediately, if we add the serum with the Vandenberg reagent, so no color formation will occur. So, but the color formation is possible if we add methanol. Okay, so it also gives a purple color only on addition of methanol along with the reagent. Here only when reagent is added to the serum, so bilirubin reacts with the reagent and gives purple color, whereas if the serum contains unconjugated bilirubin, it gives color only when methanol is added along with the reagent. It indicates indirect positive test. So that means bilirubin is present in serum which in unconjugated form. So it is an indirect positive test. Sometimes we'll have a biphasic reaction also. So biphasic in the sense, if a purple color develops immediately, it is a direct positive test. That is nothing but conjugated bilirubin is present. If you add methanol, the intensity of color will increase more and more. So which indicates conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin in serum. So that means the serum contains both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin. So it is a biphasic reaction because it contains both the forms of bilirubin. So that's why it is said to be a biphasic reaction. So indirect positive, so direct positive if it is conjugated bilirubin. So indirect positive, it is an unconjugated bilirubin. If both are present, conjugated and unconjugated, that is said to be a biphasic reaction. Now, so if this test comes positive, what does it indicate? We have to know. So now, so if you have an indirect positive result, so nothing but when you add methanol along with the reagent, then only a purple color has been formed. That means unconjugated bilirubin levels are more in the serum. So it indicates hemolytic jaundice. So jaundice in the sense, obviously any type of either conjugated or unconjugated bilirubin levels get increased means it may be due to hepatitis, and a type is jaundice. So that's why if there is unconjugated bilirubin levels or more, so then you will get the result as indirect positive, which is nothing but a hemolytic jaundice. Next, if it is a direct positive, nothing but if the serum contains conjugated bilirubin. So the test, obviously it comes a direct positive test. Immediately on adding the reagent, the serum gets purple color. So that's why. So this direct positive test indicates, so there may be an obstructive jaundice. Okay. So if both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin are present in the serum and results in the formation of a biphasic reaction, that indicates hepatic jaundice. So these are the three pathological conditions of liver. So this is for serum bilirubin. Now It is bilirubin in urine. How to test the levels of bilirubin in urine? So similar to the levels of bilirubin in serum, so we'll also observe here. So basically, bilirubin should not be present in urine. Urobilinogen can be present in urine, but not bilirubin. So that is because, so due to bilirubin levels, bilirubin in the sense it contains both conjugated and unconjugated forms, or it contains both soluble and insoluble forms. So that's why bilirubin levels basically are nearly 0 or 0.3 mg per deciliter. So it should be 0, or otherwise like a little component, little 0.3 mg per deciliter may also present sometimes. This is said to be a normal level of urine in bilirubin. So normally the bilirubin levels should not be present in urine. So this conjugated bilirubin, it is water soluble, so it gets easily excreted in urine in case of obstructive jaundice. Conjugated bilirubin, it is water soluble, it gets excreted in case of obstructive jaundice. So this can be tested by Faucher's test. Urobilinogen is present in trace amounts in urine normally. So yes, urobilinogen can be observed in trace amounts. So we have already discussed it. So in case of normally in urine sample, so urobilinogen can be found in very